I used to think that someone who calls themselves a motivational speaker and a life coach is almost certainly a charlatan and also a really annoying person to listen to. And I still believe so. But I decided to check one of them out when I heard Joe Rogan briefly mention Tony Robbins on his podcast.
You know, I had a friend of mine who was trying to do a parody on Tony Robbins, so he went and researched him. And he was going to listen to some of his recordings, listen to some of his speeches, and his goal was to find what's stupid about it. And then he started going, God damn, this guy's onto something. Was it Callan? Do you remember who it was? They were talked about it in here. I believe it was Callan. I think he was researching him for something that he was doing. And then along the way, he started realizing, like, this guy is fucking legit.
I had never heard about this Tony guy before watching that, but I proceeded to see some of his life coaching, and I was impressed with how he handled difficult situations. And then I watched him life coach Dawn, a 26-year-old suicidal girl with a very traumatic past. Let's start by hearing her explain why she is suicidal.
I was born in a community called Children of God. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but as we were born, we never had a chance to choose who we wanted to be. We were kids growing up, and we had to be children, soldiers of God. And they believed that love, God's love, was sex. So everyone had to give their love through sex. So everyone, since we were 6 years old, to give God's love, you had to have sex with people and see your mother and your brothers, everyone being abused. And you grow up already knowing that you don't have a life. You have to be a vessel of God's love, and you can't have any own choices. But I just came to a point that I don't know what to do with so much pain, and I don't know, I'm 26 and I've never had a relationship. I don't know what love is. And one of my friends said, I know a guy called Tony, he's a great guy.
I happened to be reading Dostoevsky's masterpiece, The Brothers Karamazov, when I first watched this, and I was struck by the similarities between that situation and a scene that takes place in the book. We'll watch Tony's answer later, but before that, let's look at Dostoevsky's version of a life coach, the elder Zosima. Zosima is a greatly respected monk that people from near and far travel to seeking advice. He is also placed in a difficult situation when Nastasia, a desperate woman who feels like she has nothing left to live for, comes seeking his guidance. Her intense frenzied gaze makes her stand out from the crowd of supplicants, and Zosima asks her why she is weeping. I pity my little son, dear father, Nastasia replies. He was 3 years old, just 3 months short of 3 years old. I grieve for my little son, father, for my little son. He was the last little son left to us. We had 4, Nikitushka and I, but our children didn't stay with us, they didn't stay. When I buried the first 3, I wasn't too sorry about them, but this last one I buried and I can't forget him. As if he's just standing right in front of me and won't go away. My soul is wasted over him. I look at his clothes, at his little shirt or his little boots, and start howling. She also mentions that she just walked away from her husband, who she is sure has taken to drinking. It is 3 months ago, and she says she is true with him, true, I'm true with everybody. I don't even want to see my house now, and my things, I don't want to see anything at all. The elder respond that she should weep, but she should also rejoice, because her son is in heaven standing boldly before the throne of God. Yes, you have lost him, but he is also an angel now. But she is not comforted, because her husband has told her the exact same thing. She just wishes to see him one last time, to hear him call, Mama, where are you? And hear his little feet go pat pat pat. Zosima's final response to this is, this is the lot that befalls you, mothers on earth, and do not be comforted. You should not be comforted, but weep. Only each time you weep, do not fail to remember that your little son is one of God's angels. And you will be filled with this great mother's weeping for a long time, but in the end it will turn into quiet joy for you, and your bitter tears will become tears of quiet tenderness. He concludes by saying that it is a sin for her to desert her husband, and that she must go back to him. Nastasia's final response is that the monk has touched her heart, and she will obey his command. When I read this passage, I was disappointed by the elder monk's reply. I want to make it clear that I am in no way criticizing Dostoevsky, especially not his beard. I think he portrayed the elder Zosima as a complex character with flaws, just like all the other people in the Brothers Karamazov. At the time, I could only have explained why I was disappointed with the elder monk along the lines of, I feel Zosima could have handled that better. But I got a much clearer view of Zosima's shortcomings when I watched Tony's reply to Dawn.
He's a great guy.
You're a miracle. You're truly a miracle. To have made it through that and to be here in this moment, you're a miracle to everyone in this room. And there's one thing I know. Out of insanity, out of pain, out of injustice, you've not been through pain, you've been through spiritual pain. It's beyond what most people could ever imagine in their lives. You haven't deserved any of it. But out of that comes unbelievable fucking strength. And you're tired of being strong, but you still are.
Tony does the most appropriate thing after hearing this painful story, hugging her. While it may not be wrong to speak right away, I think it would be a mistake to offer advice before acknowledging her pain. That is the problem with Zosima's reply. When facing the tragedy of the childless woman, he offers advice right away, and on top of that, the advice is something so common that she has already heard it before. After a moment of silence sympathizing with her, Tony directs her to a path where she is able to find meaning in her suffering by having gained the strength and knowledge to help others. He also rather ingeniously tries to fix a problem with her personal life. She is 26 and has never had a boyfriend. She thinks that for men she will always just be a sex object, and he tries to change that belief this way.
There's men out there that are just sending you love, and that's all they want is to send you love. Find a few of them that when you look in their eyes, you know that they're not only safe, but they really are sending you love, and there's no agenda.
I have a hard time believing that.
I know, but I want you to look in their eyes and find the three that you know is true. Him? Okay, there's one.
The three men she picks will be her uncles for the next many years, contacting her once a month. Their purpose is to help her see men as human beings and not as beasts that behind all their smiles just wants to put their penis in her. Now, Tony Robbins has got incredible rich doing what he's doing, and there are some instances of his life coaching one can find fault with, like suggesting to a woman that she call her boyfriend and break up with him in front of the entire audience. But I do believe that his experiences growing up, his emotional empathy, and absolutely insane amount of experience with people puts him in a unique situation to help those who can afford it. If we look kindly at him and judge him at his best, we can compare him to another character in the Brothers Karamazov, the sensitive and loving Alyosha. They both speak of unconditional love and are obsessed with preventing suffering.
It's suffering in my own life that makes me not let anybody else suffer that I could possibly do something about. I love to see people light up, but I will not let them stay in suffering if I can humanly do anything.
But it is problematic that Tony is so rich if he has an utilitarian ideal of stopping suffering for as many people as possible. Even when you have fed hundreds of millions of people, it seems difficult to justify having a private plane and owning part of an island when billions barely have food and shelter. Still, he seems to be a force for good, and who among us would not make all their dreams come true if they had the means? He's at least legit enough that there are things to learn here.